Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. How's everybody? Welcome to Mayat TV-DMV. This is Mayat University. And I want to say peace to everyone. Shalom, Islam, Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Hotep. And what's up, people? We are here today to welcome the episode 1 of Mayat University. I am your hostess, Najmah Rashad, with guest speakers Shem, Malachi Bey, and Abdullah El Talib Mosi Bey. Today is Thursday, June 15th, 2023. We are live and I'm feeling good. Homage to all the ancestors, spirit guides, guardian angels, and other entities that rock out with us daily. Homage to the divine feminine, great mother, for she gives birth. May everyone listening to the broadcast, myself included, be blessed in our quests to continue to learn, remember, and apply the tools we have amongst us so that our vibrations will blissfully rise and so that we can reach the level of prosperity. May we all reject fear and other emotional distractions, including but not limited to people in our circle and outside of our circle. May we all practice unconditional love at all times. Without further ado, I will now introduce the guests. Abdullah El Talib Mosi Bey. Abdullah El Talib Mosi Bey is a graduate of Glassboro State College, where he earned a BA degree in sociology. He continued his educational pursuits and also acquired a master's degree at Rutgers University Graduate School of Social Work. His deepest impact in the area of intersocial reform and birthrights consciousness, including literary contributions to humanitarian cause, came about with his association with activists with the Moorish Order of the Round Table. Years of studies, writings, and participation among the Aboriginal Indigenous Moors in this active civic order and school of learning has magnified Abdullah Bey's applicable understanding as to the negative social, political, and economical impacts that negative law has had upon our people. This has broadened his social work knowledge. Brother Bey's accomplishments include owning and publishing 2 newspapers, the Moorish Civil Letter in 1995 and the Masonic Gate in 2013. Brother Bey served as editor-in-chief, columnist, and distributor for the Al Moroccan Star for 3 years, 2001 to 2003. Through mentoring, diligent research, and study of positive law and history, Brother Bey's passion to assist with the political process of restoring treaty protection to the Moors has ignited him to move in the direction of etymology, the study and origin of words. Under the late Professor John Burton and Richard Bailey at Temple University, Brother Bey studied etymology, basic and advanced grammar, Greek, vocabulary, building skills, and poetry. Brother Bey is on staff at Temple University Pan-African Studies Community Education Program, where he has taught etymology to hundreds of Moors for 18 years. Since June of 2019, Brother Bey has been a member of the Moorish Imperial Restoration Caucus, whose mission is to restore treaty protection to millions of Moors through the facilitation of the reestablishment of a Moorish national governmental structure, the reestablishment of diplomatic relations with the European treaty nations, and the implementation of the international process of reversion to sovereignty by re-entering the international community of nations as an old and original state. Brother Bey is the author of numerous books. Welcome, Abdullah. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you. I'm excited.
You're very, very welcome. Before we get started, I know that Monday is a holiday. It's Juneteenth. And because it's the this is actually the 3rd anniversary of Juneteenth that the government has actually made a holiday. So many organizations are closed on Monday. Could you touch on Juneteenth as it relates to Moors, and just talk briefly about, Juneteenth as a whole?
Yes. Your question, I talk on Juneteenth as it relates to Moors. Now, the question is, does it relate to Moors? And my point is that we have Moors who are conscious, like yourself, myself, Cynthia, all right? Conscious Moors, those who are aware that they're Moors. Mm-hmm. And we have millions of unconscious Moors classified as Black Negro, colored, Latino, Indian, Spanish, Puerto Rican, and the United States Census Bureau. So that's I wanted for those who are not aware. So I want to be clear for the listening, the watching audience, the viewing audience, you know, that Moor is the consanguinity, nationality, pedigree, ancestry, lineage, descent of those classified as Black, Negro, colored, African American, Latino. All right. So does Juneteenth Day relate to Moors? Juneteenth Day relates to the Abians. Let me explain what I mean by that. Well, how does Juneteenth Day relate to the Abians? Juneteenth Day relates to our conqueror, the Europeans, and that Juneteenth Day is a disguise for the continuation of slavery. Juneteenth Day relates to the Abians and that it's not the celebration of the ending of slavery. It's not the celebration. Yes, our people think it is that. All right, on Monday, so I'm gonna qualify. Yes, millions who will be celebrating on Monday think it is the celebration of the ending of slavery, of the freeing of the quote unquote slaves. They think it's that. And it's not that. It relates to the Europeans in that it is a game, a mental game played on us to disguise the continuation of slavery. That's how it relates to the Abiyad, is their game they playing on us. They're playing on our emotions, our lack of knowledge of our history, our nationality, our land rights, our birthrights, our states. They're playing on us because they stripped us of everything. Abdullah, you say we're not free. No, we're not. What constitutes freedom? In international law, there's a term called post-liminium, P-O-S-T-L-I-M-I-N-I-U-M, post-liminium. It is the returning a people to their original condition. We are not in our original condition. Returning a people to their original condition before conquest, before slavery, before captivity. So this is not our original condition. We have not been restored to our original condition. So now I'm going to, let's look at this question. Are the United States 13th or 14th Amendment the enforcement of the international law principle of post-liminium as the remedy for returning a people to their original condition who have been held against their will under conditions of slavery, subjugation, servitude, captivity, and bondage by the United States? Let's look at this. We hold a people held in captivity. Your conqueror, your captor is legislating, meaning you're held in captivity. Your conqueror, your captor is legislating, meaning that they didn't return us to our original condition, meaning our knowledge of our history, knowledge of our name, knowledge of our nationality, knowledge of our festivals, our holidays, our marital practices, our rituals. Return us. We return us into full statehood and sovereignty, where now we are made whole with back to where we were before the conquest, back to full statehood, back to full recovery of our sovereignty, military, government structure. We're back to that. No, that didn't happen. We held in captivity. They're legislating. Oh, you're free. They're legislating. We didn't sit at the table. We didn't sit at the table with them with full power, having been restored to full power militarily, politically, and sit at the table and then negotiate with them. No, we were in captivity state and they're legislating. Oh, now you're going to be a citizen. We're in a what? Destitute state. A destitute state. Lack of knowledge of our history, name, nationality, birthright, sovereignty, our states. No control. We're in destitute state. Desperate. Come on, my brothers and sisters. Hear me. Please hear me. They're playing on us. So our set is for the Albions, not for us. It's a political tool for the Albions to maintain slavery, oppression. It's a political tool. They play on our emotions, are set, because we don't know Jack. What I mean, we don't know our names, our languages, history, nationality, festivals, marital practices, holidays, rituals, celebrations, philosophy. They stripped us of everything, and we have not been made whole. So it's easy for us. It's an emotional thing. So it's for the Albions to maintain, so to get these Moors to think that they're free. Meanwhile, we still got control of their land. We still control them. We're taxing them. They have not been restored to their original condition. So we don't know what freedom is. It's for the Albions. So I'm qualifying what I mean by that. You have a question?
The people who don't understand who they are, that are melanated, which is a lot of people, those people who are recognizing Juneteenth as this holiday, can you speak on why you think the Albions put this in place to appease certain people, and what was really happening during that time period where that word even came into existence in the first place?
As far as Juneteenth Day?
Correct.
Well, all right. Our people have been struggling and pushing for recognition. Mm-hmm. For recognition from the Albions. You know, we march, you know, we have rituals, we praying, we complain, we do boycotts, you know, to be recognized. We are somebody, recognize our accomplishments, you know, recognize. So there's this push, same thing with Black History Month, same thing with, we wanted them to recognize us. Recognize us as some equal. Recognize us. You know what I mean? We want to be able to sit on the same toilet. We want to be able to eat at the same restaurants. Use the same forks and spoons. We want to be able to sit on the same bus. You know what I mean? This whole push of them recognize. I'm giving the psychology of where that whole thrust of them recognizing us. There's somebody, we can do it too if we're given equal opportunity. We're coming from a subordinate mind. We're not coming from a position of rulership or where we were. These are the people that we held in captivity. We held the Europeans in captivity. We seized their ships. We are the people that brought them out of the Dark Ages in Europe. The Moorish Empire in Europe for 1400, for a period of 800, from 700 to 711 to 1492. We raised them up, but we lacked that knowledge. They came to us, France and Portugal and the Netherlands and Great Britain. Petition came to us to negotiate treaties, trade and protection treaties, as we controlled the Mediterranean and the Atlantic Sea during the 15, 16, 1700s. We've been brought to our knees. Now we're, begging for rights, begging them to recognize us. We're equal. So that thrust, that mentality, and that mentality are set is a result of our being stripped of everything: name, nationality, history, culture, philosophy, marital rights, holidays. We're stripped of everything. So they control our land and resources. They control what information they give to us in the schools. They control every avenue of our lives. That's where that's coming from, I said. Our conqueror controls every avenue of our lives.
Changing topics. So I have a question. How can we change the economic, political, and cultural conditions of our people today, now? What can each person do to contribute to that change?
All right. Now, to change the economic and cultural conditions of our lives, of our people, we must first address the political condition. We must restore national political unity among our people. There's no addressing the economics without first restoring the political unity. What do you mean, Abdullah? Why is it important to restore political unity? Why is it important to organize various Moorish body politics into a national central governing body, even in a provisional temporary state? Why? Because that would give us the political leverage to address the centuries of European conquest, European colonization, mass denationalization, the colonization of our land, mass denationalization of our people. We mean that we can't do it as individuals. We need a national political body politic to address these matters of colonization, mass denationalization, genocide, linguistic genocide, and to the international community. The issue are set is that you have the individual Moors addressing it in different state courts and United States federal courts. That will never happen, meaning we will never address the economic condition because we have to address European colonization. So in order for us to get to a level of economics, sustainability, we have to address the continuation of European colonization on our land. We have to address the continuation and enforcement of Inter Caetera Divina. So these issues cannot be addressed as individuals, dealing with this. We're approaching this from a non-strategic, case-by-case perspective. All right, so we need a national. It would be a provisional, mean temporary, because you don't need all our people to be conscious. We need a body of us operating in a national political structure to address, whereby it can function in a provisional or temporary state, which we spelled out in writing, and that will be known to the world that we are serving in a temporary capacity until we're able to facilitate a national plebiscite, whereby facilitating a national plebiscite would mean that you're educating millions of Moors. So over a 3-year period, everything will be written out. This can be done because it must be in line with political legitimacy, the will of the people, the consent of the people.
So do you recommend, or do you think it should be a state-by-state basis where at least the states in the United States, different states will have a political body that can address, and then will come as one roundtable? Or do you recommend that it just be one board for however many people are consciously interested in that type of action?
All right. No, what has to be in line with political legitimacy? That's a great question. Political legitimacy, the consent of the people, the will of the people. There must be various body politics that elect a head, and the heads convene. The heads will make up the national body. It cannot be where you on your own, or myself on my own, and then we're coming and 10 of us or 20 of us on our own without being elected by a local body politic. That would not be political legitimacy. You cannot form a national governing body among 20 or 100 Moors who are self-appointed. That's not political legitimacy. When you have to be careful, because that's what's been happening, Aset, this self-appointment, because what you're doing because that will not be recognized, because what happens if you do not show honor among our people through a political process that's written out, spelled out, and known, the world will not deal with you. Because if you don't show honor among your own people, what makes you think you're going to show honor among them? So this is why I say the word political legitimacy. The political legitimacy, you must facilitate the formation of the will and consent of the people. So that's why you have to have community outreach and education. That is very important. Political legitimacy has to be at the heart of this. And what's been happening is you got this self-appointment. You have this issue where you have more conscious Moors who claim to have a national government with 5 conscious Moors. So that's not going to fly. See, those who remember, we're preparing our people to deal with those who know. And your process has to be written out. How did you get to your position? Was there an election? Do you have a constitution of your body politic? These principles must be adhered to, because those are safeguard measures. The political legitimacy is whereby the consent of the people. because the people, the will, the sovereignty. When you're talking government, you're talking the people, the will of the people that is vested in a constitution. So these principles have to be adhered to. Very important, because those are safeguard measures. It's principles of due process, checks and balance. So those principles must be embodied, embedded into what you're doing.
Thank you for that. Next question, or statement and question. California, as many of us may or may not know, has passed this bill for reparations for Moors, for Aboriginal people.
Mm-hmm.
What is your position on Moors receiving reparations?
All right, great question. Great question. All right. I'm glad you asked me that, because I'm ready. Now let me address this. My position, let's say those Moors receive reparations. 5 million, 10 million apiece. Say 10 million apiece.
Mm-hmm.
Not that. And Federal Reserve notes. All right. My position is that we don't control the economic infrastructure. We don't control the economic infrastructure, and the payout will be given to individuals who do not have the knowledge of who they are, who have a consumer mentality, who are not looking at the next generation, so it is not sustainable. So my position, question was raised, what is the sustainability? 100, 200, 500, 1,000 years. What is sustainability? It cannot be sustained or set when a people do not control their economic infrastructure. What do you mean, Abdullah? We don't control the economic infrastructure. Banks, let me list some things. Banks, airports, airlines, bus companies, restaurants, hotels, apartment complexes, motels, car dealerships, amusement parks, factories, land resources, all right, clothing, supermarkets. You say, well, what about those who make their own clothes? Where they get the fabric from? So that means it's for the Albions. I'm glad you asked me this question. Mm-hmm. It would be a stimulus for the Europeans. It's a stimulus check for the Europeans, means that I want anybody to challenge me on that, because you got to have the infrastructure already. We do not, have the economic infrastructure. Where are you going to go to get anything? You're going to go to the Albion, grocery store, supermarkets, your clothes. They're going to go cars. They're going to be cars. Remember, they're going to get their most expensive stuff. They go on vacation. They're going to spin up. They're going to spin up. You know our people. They're going to spin up. So there is no plan in place for us to gain control of economic infrastructure. These people are not in political unity. It's going to be a stimulus check. Let me continue, please. This is very important, I said. Mm-hmm. You have children. You have parents who have children that are a day old. 10 days old, a year old, two years old. They get the finance tomorrow. They will have 20 years from now, 20 years from now, those children, every child that's living today, every child living today will be an adult 20 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
So is there, that a people who don't know who they are and trying to spend it before they get it, it's spent before we get it. What is the plan or set for the children? What is the plan? What is the sustainability? So every child living today will be an adult 20 years from now. And a lot of those children will have children. So that means you're going to have grandchildren 20 years from now. If your child is 5 years old, possibly you will have grandchildren 20 years from now. Your child is 1 day old, possibly you have grandchildren 20 years from now. So is there a plan, or will your children have to work 20 years from now? Why should they? You got 20 million. What are your children? What about your grandchildren? Your great-grandchildren? This is how the ambiance think. They think sustainability. We don't think this way because we've been stripped of everything. We're not working in political unity. I'm glad you asked me that. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Great. And that's really leading me to another question that I'm thinking about. So we know that women used to have higher positions in the Moorish civilization, right? That women were very much included in what we don't see today. Why is it that support system that used to be there is no longer present? Why don't we support one another the way we used to? And why is it that it appears that the woman, the great mother energy, is non-existent in many groups, not just Moorish groups, but many groups throughout the world? The woman seems to have fallen.
All right, Shem said he's on. What do you mean he's on? You see Shem?
I do not.
All right, hold on. He might hit the wrong. Hold on. Don't give me a minute.
To the listening audience, please comment, like, and please subscribe. We will be going live every week with brand new ideas, brand new content, weekly on Thursdays, 8:30. Please comment, subscribe, and please tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that we're back again. Are you frozen, Abdul? Uh-oh. Okay.
He said he's in. He said he hit the steam yard. He said he. You there?
You have a echo.
I know. You got to close out. I'm in. Yeah. Let me leave.
Okay. Uh-oh. Stand by, listening audience. Okay. I can just read some of the comments while we're waiting for Abdul to get things right on his end. ZM Bey said, I think the mother energy is still here. It's just kept quiet on the back burner, so to speak. I wish you could expand your thoughts on that, Exelon Bey. You think the energy of the great mother is still here, but it's kept quiet on the back burner. Can you tell me what you mean by that, Exelon Bey, please? Another comment says, 100 years later, we have not gotten that sentiment at all. While we're waiting on Abdul, I can just read a little of, 1 second. Looks like he's back. You back? Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
What about now?
Yes.
You hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes.
I can't.
I'll keep trying to read. Facilitating the political legitimacy. 1 second.
You hear me?
I can hear you.
He
Can you
can't
hear
get
me?
on. He
Shem
said,
can't get on.
I'm getting this echo. Why am I hitting this echo? I left, came back on. Look at this echo. Let me try it again.
As we wait, apologies for the technical difficulties. The Moroccan Post School for Government and International Law, which Abdul oversees, their main objective is to facilitate the national political unity of the various Moorish governing body into a Moorish intergovernment alliance and Central Moorish Imperial Parliament Council. Let's see.
We're good. We're good.
Okay.
Yeah, he can't. He said he entered the studio. I don't know. He said he entered the studio, went to the email, hit it. I can only tell you what he told me. So I'm telling you. He said he hit enter studio, and I mean.
Yeah, we'll have to do a test run before next week. Because he has the same link that you have.
Yeah, it's the same link. I emailed. Yes, the same link.
It's okay.
All right, let's continue.
Right.
We're good.
Yeah, so the reason that we don't support one another is where I was, because I noticed, like, even in families, sometimes it's not the same support that it used to be. I know when I was a child and watched my mother and her sisters and her brothers, totally different type of vibe. It's now the families, Moorish families, seem to be more separated. Again, I feel like the woman. I wanted to read you a comment, Abdul, that someone put in the comment and get your okay. So Exelon Bey, he said, I think the mother energy is still here. It's just kept quiet on the back burner, so to speak. So I asked him to expound a little bit on his thoughts, and he said, look at mothers still in essence have been running the house, and it's really the driving force from the male perspective, in my observation, I think the fact that our knowledge of self has been stripped is the driving factor in what we see now. So the question goes back to you regarding the woman and her role now, how it's basically not what it used to be, and then the support of our people. So it's two separate questions, but
all right, let me give you some let me give you some let's look at the Haudenosaunee Constitution, which is known, people know it, some people know it as the Iroquois Constitution, Articles 44 to 47. Someone y'all Google the Iroquois Constitution and read Articles 44 to 47, and those articles preserve the matrilineal line, the matrilineal system, where the mother line of the family is the ruling line, the mother line where titles, line of rulership is passed down to the mother line of the family, and that whole structure is preserved in Articles 44 to 47 in the Haudenosaunee Constitution. There's also an article I want the audience to Google, how the founding fathers ignored the clan mother. How the founding fathers ignored the clan mother. Very good article. So we have two, Articles 44 to 47 of the Iroquois or Haudenosaunee Constitution. We have the article, how the founding fathers ignored the clan mother. I like to give references. Or said, this is my style. People who know me, they know I give references, all right, and so sources that they can have, all right. Okay. So now there is also a book titled The Great Cosmic Mother, The Great Cosmic Mother, and then you have When God Was a Woman by Marilyn Stone. When God Was a Woman by Marilyn Stone, she does her research is based in the Near East, and she presents the archaeological evidence of women rulership, and archaeological evidence of that. You also, in The Great Cosmic Mother, Monica and Sonia do a great job, and they lay out the history of the church with the ecumenical councils and how they use ecumenical where the men met and made a decision on whether women should have a soul. So this was done through political processes. This did not just happen. So you have the witch burnings, we have the witch hunts, the witches of Islam, and the witch hunts and witch burnings, going that time to the Inquisition against the Moors. So that was why were women targeted? Women were targeted, once again, give you the basis for that, Article 44 to Article 47 of the Iroquois Constitution, because the wealth and titles are passed down to the mother line of the family. That's why women were targeted. It's not a position they hate women. No. See, that's when someone say, well, they hate women. That's ignorance. It's not a hate. It's called control. It's not hate. They're not attacking the women or suppressing the women. It's not motivated by hate. It's motivated by control. Because once again, the wealth and titles are passed down to the mother line of the family. That's why. That's very important to understand, because if you go with the hate game, then you miss the boat of the ancient principles of matrilineal and ancient and matriarchal civilization, where wealth and power passed down to the motherline of the family. That is ancient. So there's been a cover-up of that. Even when males took on their wives' names.
Mm-hmm.
See, what they see today are set. That's birthright. That's birthright theft. For women to take on their husband's name is birthright theft practice. Mm-hmm. That's birth. So they implemented this to maintain the suppression of that. When women take on their husband's names, I don't support that. Why, Abdullah? You don't? Because that is birthright theft. You're suppressing the matrilineal principle.
Wow. So the word that is often used now as it relates to some men who maybe hate or there's a power problem with women, misogyny. So what is the difference between men that a lot of women may look at and say, they're misogynists versus men who it's just a power structure? Because a misogynist is deep down someone that hates women. The difference between the two.
All right, let me do this set. What those people are doing is they're observing today. They're observing today. See, I am an historian. So I don't look at today. I don't come from the perspective of observing today's actions and drawing conclusions. What they're doing are set is they're looking at today's actions and drawing conclusions. All these men hate women. They're misogynist. What I'm saying is that the men and women were indoctrinated with this. So I take a sociological and historical perspective when I analyze situations. What is the origin of this? I'm observing. Yes, I'm observing. You say that these men hate women. You're observing. I know you're observing these practices today. But I come from, well, what led to this? What were what's the history that brought this about? What is the event that brought these modern practices about? What I want to do or set is expand the audience mind and not just be so myopic and just focus on what they see today. Because what they see today was social engineered. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm coming from. I want to expand their mind.
Thank you. I want to spend not the remainder of maybe the last 10 minutes, because we have maybe 10 minutes left, talking about the youth, the Moorish youth right now, and the criminal justice system, and just the youth in the community right now, where it seems that many people are afraid of them. They are in the communities. They are actually doing the absolute most. I have never seen it like this before in my walk this time around in life. Can you expound on the criminal justice system as it relates to Moorish youth?
All right. I'm great. Man, I love your questions because it gives me opportunity to deal with how to address it. All right. I'm gonna give you once again Moorish national government structure, because you're by addressing it that way. That's the symptoms. How will we be best to address this? By facilitating a Moorish national governing structure. We must address the cause, European conquest, intercartera divina, mass denationalization, Why, Abdullah? Is because of that is that we were not able to what? Educate our own children and have institutions to educate our children, to have rites of passage. So we have to regain what? We have to facilitate political unity so that we can what? Be able to once again have governance over our children. We do not at this time. So you have to address, we need a national Moorish political body to serve as a voice in the international community to address centuries of European colonization, conquest, the dismantling of our Moroccan empire, mass denationalization, mass colonization issue. We need a Moorish national governing body. Because this case by case set will go on for another 100 years, and we won't be no further along 100 years from now than we are today.
So some of the Moors that we have on the councils throughout America, you know, there are, you know, some Moorish people who are doing their part. They're in government. They're delegates in our governments. They're, you know, some of them are really involved with politics in trying to assist in the criminal justice system, because it is such an ugly beast, and it is so connected with not just destroying and keeping a lot of what we know as Moorish men down, but in so many other ways, the criminal justice system is just this huge bank. It's a revolving bank of just money that's going to the courts, to the lawyers, to, you know, afterwards you're kind of stuck because now you're on probation and you're still in the lives of the criminal justice system. 3 years supervised probation where you have to pay money to be on probation. So it's all these things. So even though we don't have that board that you're talking about, do you recommend that more young people get involved with politics?
All right, let me clarify some things are set. One, they're not working in our government. Those are unconscious Moors. Those are unconscious Moors you're talking about.
Okay.
You don't know who they are. That is not our government. United States is not our government. So one, they're not working in our government. Mm-hmm. They're unconscious. They're working to maintain European conquest. They're working to maintain the dismantling of our Moroccan empire. They're working to maintain the mass denationalization because they pushed that black thing on our people. So they're working to maintain the mass denationalization of our people. They're working to maintain genocide on our people, unknowingly. So they're being used as pawns and agents. They're working in a European colonial conquesting system as pawns. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Because your questions allowed me to bring clarity. Thank you. I appreciate you.
You're very welcome. We only have 6 minutes left, and I would like for you to use the 6 minutes to talk to people that will get some energy going, that's going to get us through the next week with something bigger. May everyone's, what is the word I want to use? Any clouds that people have right now, any blockages that people have right now, my words right now is for all blocks to be moved, for all of our ancestors that are around us, our own blood DNA ancestors. May they help unblock everything and get rid of the fear that creates us from really moving on. May these calls and these shows weekly help us to rise and to get our vibrations up during a time that we are at war right now. It is a real war. We see what's going on. It's so much happening that you can't even really keep up with what's happening. So I would like for you to close out, Abdul, whichever way you choose to.
All right. I want to first, this allow me, I said, because it's important that we clear up words and clear up concepts, that we have to make it very clear that we are not at war. Let me explain. All right. We're not at war. We have been defeated. We were at war in 1100s, 1200s, 1300s, 1400s. We seized them. We are not at war. We're in total state of conquest. Our Moroccan Empire has been dismantled. For over 200 years, the Moroccan Empire has been in a political state of collapse, disintegration, dismantled. Her people, her children, us, have been under mass denationalization. The land has been under English, Spanish, Portuguese, French, and Dutch colonization and conquest. We are in total defeat. We're not in war. We were in war through the Crusades. We fought them, they fought us. We killed them, they killed us. We are not in war. Our condition is a product of being defeated. We are spoils of war. We're not at war. We are spoils of war. In total defeat, a Moroccan Empire in collapse. I just want to provide clarity. Once again, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. But it's very important that we provide clarity to the viewing audience.
Definitely.
All right. So there are classes that we have on the Moroccan Post Media YouTube page. Moroccan Post Media YouTube page. There's classes are uploaded on that YouTube page for those who want to get further study. Tonight was just an overview. This will be weekly, every Thursday from 8:30 to 9:30. All right. So that we wanted to give people, the viewing audience, an overview of where we're going to be going with this. Where we're going to get down to more detail, but this was very good. And you asked very great questions because they allow me to provide clarity.
Great. Wonderful.
And those who want to get my book, Moors and Masonry Part 2, Moors and Masonry Part 1, The Masonic Compass and Square, Etymology and Vocabulary. Etymology and Vocabulary Supplementary 1, How Moon and Venus Rule, Illuminati and Illumination of the Mind. Go to moorsandmasonry.org. moorsandmasonry.org. For classes, go to Moroccan Post Media YouTube page. Our classes, those are free classes that we upload, that we have on our YouTube every second and fourth Wednesday of the month, and we upload it on our Moroccan Post Media YouTube page. All right. Looking forward to seeing y'all next week. All right. Every Thursday from 8:30 to 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. All right. And this overview allowed us to get you tantalized and, prepare you. All right. And prepare your mind and then lead the way with this. And, trust to have Shem on next time with us.
Thank you so much. Again, peace, shalom, Islam, assalamu alaikum, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, hotep, and what's up? We'll see you next week, everyone. Peace and love.